Hi friends, we are here to discuss the institutionalization, the practice and the prospects of sociology in Kerala. Before we begin, let's introduce. She is Dr. Linda of St. Teresa's College, Ernakulam, Dr. Biju Vincent, Sri Sankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Ernakulam, Dr. Lekha N.B., SN College, Chambaranthi, Thiruvananthapuram, and myself, Dr. Anthony Palakal, formerly Professor, University of Kerala. We will, in the process of our discussion, review the trajectory of the institutionalization of sociology in Kerala and assess the extent of growth of an autonomous sociological tradition and evaluate the role of Kerala Sociological Society, the professional body of sociologists in Kerala, and the journal Kerala Sociologist of the Kerala Sociological Society, and try to understand the discipline of sociology as it is practiced in Kerala today. Okay, so we will begin with the process of institutionalization of Kerala, of sociology in Kerala. Now, Linda, you have studied, your PhD topic was Sociology of Sociology in Kerala. And can you briefly tell us, the process of institutionalization that happened with regard to sociology in Kerala?
So, sociology in Kerala came in as a what is called a subsidiary or complementary discipline way back in the 1930s. So, it's not very commonly known at that time. And it was in very few colleges, mostly run by Christian managements or those colleges that were managed by caste associations that had introduced sociology in the early 1930s. But this did not take root. This did not continue or grow on from there. We can see that full departments come to be established in Kerala from the 1960s, that is after India gained independence, after Kerala state was formed. Again in the 1960s, the first full department, PG department of sociology was established at Loyola College of Social Sciences, which is in Trivandrum. This was an institute established by the Jesuit congregation, Society of Jesus. In the same year, BCM College in Kottayam established a BA in sociology. This was a college that was run exclusively for women. This was also managed by a Catholic institution. This was also a Catholic institution run by nuns, and this was a women's college. Afterwards, immediately in the coming years, we can see in 1964, 65, 66, there are other Christian managed institutions that some started BA, some started PG courses in sociology in the next few years. And in 1969, we can see that the University of Kerala established a department of sociology. Professor P.K.B. Nair was one of the first pioneers of the department at the university. At all the other institutions, we can see the lead was taken mostly by priests and nuns. Some of them had studied sociology. Some of them had studied outside Kerala because there were no other departments at that time. Some had even been sent abroad to study sociology. Some had gone to the United States to complete their studies. Even Professor P.K.B. Nair did his PhD in sociology from Pittsburgh University in the US.
So mostly by Catholic priests and nuns, were behind starting sociology in Kerala.
The state comes into play in the establishment of sociology with the coming of the Department of Sociology at the University of Kerala.
Now, Dr. Biju, can you briefly give the context, the socio-political context in which this institutionalization of sociology was taking place in Kerala?
Yeah, so it is quite interesting to see how sociology has set up its beginning in the state of Kerala. So, in the context of the post-independent and the setting up of the first communist ministry in Kerala, the liberation struggle, which we call Vimojana Samaram in Kerala, that all the caste associations, caste communities, religious communities actually protest against the first communist ministry's education bill, and that has led the trajectory of the discipline in another mood and situation.
Maybe it is in this context that I think we need to, look at the kind of orientation
Yes.
that the sociology has taken at that period. Basically,
Certainly.
it was Parsonian orientation based on the predominant tradition of American sociology at that point of time.
That's true.
You see, and I think we should also add to that as Dr. Linda was saying in the beginning, that many of our founding fathers and mothers had their training in the United States. Most of them, including Professor P.K. Vinaya. Perhaps that has its reflection in the orientation that the sociology has taken place, at that point of time, and that I think continued for quite some time. It's only recently that I think the youngsters, the present generation, has understood that and then trying to overcome that particular orientation, which is built on the structural functionalist, school of the Parsonian tradition.
Yeah.
I think one interesting thing to note here is that even in the early generation, we had a few scholars who were trained in North India in places like JNU, Rajasthan University,
Delhi School of Economics.
But they came to Kerala and they could not find a space in one sense. They remained marginal to Kerala sociology.
Now, I think in this context, we should also locate, the development of sociology in higher secondary level, at the school level. Dr. Linda, can you, tell us about that?
Yes. So, for a long time, our college system in Kerala included students of the 16-17 age group as well. It was only by the late 1990s that pre-degree, it was called pre-degree at that time, it is called intermediate in some places, it was de-linked from the college system and established as higher secondary.
By 1998.
By 1998 is that cut-off period. With the establishment of higher secondary, we can see a proliferation of sociology at the school level, because very quickly sociology caught on as an interesting subject, a subject that was part of the humanities stream, and at present large numbers of students, I think over 20,000 students clear their +2 every year, having studied sociology papers. But at the same time, there is a mismatch between the number of seats on offer at the college level and the number of students who graduate, who complete school with having studied sociology. So I think there are hardly 500, maybe 600 seats for sociology at the college level, while over 20,000 students are clearing +2 level, having studied sociology.
I think that's one of the priority challenges that sociology in Kerala need to be addressing. Now, in that context, I think we should also talk about sociology being offered at the distance mode in Kerala. Dr. Lekha, can you say something about that?
As Linda has pointed out, there is a mismatch of students. As 20,000 of students are passing out from +2 and only 500 seats are in colleges at the graduate level. That is met through this distance education. We have mostly, I think there is a lot of students are registering for this distance education. Even now we have an open university that is a distance education, distance education, especially only for the distance education. We have a university that is Sri Narayana Guru Open University. It is very interesting to see that sociology is the most demanded subject there, mostly because of it is considered as so-called soft and easy subject.
Maybe because of that mainly. In distance education, mostly those who are in their career and for their career promotion, and those who, particularly women, who are not able to go for a regular program in sociology, take sociology in the distance mode. I think there is a kind of misconception that sociology is a very soft and popular
and also
subject.
it is very commonsensical.
It's right.
Students find many of our papers very interesting.
Yes.
Gender, aging, environment.
And also the social problems, very easy to write for them. And it is also about this kind of commonsensical thing, because they are dealing with the everyday life and thing. I think this misconception should be changed. Actually, it is very commonsensical. We should treat sociology as a scientific enterprises, and also the sociological imagination of that. How the personal experience and the biography could relate to the wider social world. That should be the more focus.
Yeah, I think that's an important point that,
I think it's interesting to see that on the one hand there are many people who think, oh, this is such an easy discipline. Anybody can study. During my research, I came across many ideas like this. This is very easy. At the same time, we can also see that another set of students are coming to sociology with the aim of writing the civil service exam, or going in for journalism, or applying to the United Nations, going for welfare related careers. So it's a very interesting contradiction.
Yes, very paradoxical.
Interestingly, it is contradictory.
Okay. Now, I think it is in this light we need to talk about the pedagogy that is, being offered in sociology in Kerala. Dr. Biju, I think you have some observations regarding that.
Institutional socialization has got its significant role. So, as I said in the beginning, the socio-political context where these institutions came up for teaching sociology, and which has not kind of incorporated the criticality in its syllabus, the criticality is kept outside the classroom. So, keeping this uncriticality apart from the academic discourse, it is not there in the classroom, it is not in the syllabus, or it is not in the pedagogy, made the discipline so not in a performing in a very intellectual manner. So, therefore, the quality of the material which is being transacted in the classroom didn't actually help the students to come out with the critical sensibility. So this is very important in terms of teaching and learning sociology, where students, teachers and all the materials are being supposed to be very critical. The conspicuous absence of criticality so made sociology into a very commonsensical, as you said, and it made sociology to be very easy and soft.
I think in this context, I have heard you saying, in some fora regarding caste, for example, how we teach caste. And what was your observation on that?
I don't believe that sociologists very seriously approach caste in their as part of their academic endeavors. So, caste, so we know institutions that teach sociology are the institutions backed by caste organizations and religious organizations, and but they don't critically look at into this picture, and then what happens is caste becomes one of the categories which not being discussed in the syllabus. So
perhaps by teaching that kind of understanding of caste, perhaps would again reinforce the existing normal structure that idealizes the hierarchical system, etc.
Until 2013, there was no concept of non-Brahminic versions of caste in the syllabus. It was introduced at a UG level in Kerala University, where I was also part of the Board of Studies, and serious discussions and deliberations were going on regarding whether to include non-Brahminic version in the syllabus or not to. And this continued.
So still continuing.
Yeah.
Ideological perspective. We were only talking about that Brahminical version, and we are just mentioning about the subaltern perspective. Only a very small portion is we are giving.
Therefore, the uncriticality towards the caste, uncriticality towards religion.
Gender.
The
question of transgenders. All these have come, I think, of late
Yes.
You know, after some of
Gender
us
is being
recognizing.
explored. Gender is being explored in many different
Yes,
research
in
works.
research works. But transgender and the caste is, I think,
Caste-
very less.
Caste still remains
invisible.
invisible. In Kerala, I think generally in Kerala academia, caste has been looked at from a historical perspective.
But not
to
in
look
a
at
sociological perspective.
Now
Start-
that the younger generation, the faculty members who have recognized, this lacuna, this limitation of our syllabus and pedagogy, are now consciously, trying to overcome this and bring all these elements of criticality and different points of view. Even, thinkers like Ambedkar, etc., are being now seriously taught in classrooms.
I think we are also more exposed to other currents. Now it has become much more easier to attend a course at JNU or invite somebody from abroad for a lecture. We have more access that way.
And,
So in this context, I think we need to also talk about research and publication tradition of Kerala sociology. The research and publication tradition in sociology has also been very modest, initially, and mostly concentrated in southern part of Kerala, maybe because of the advanced educational centers for sociology in the south, University of Kerala and Loyola College of Social Sciences. But at the same time, it was largely confined to MA dissertations or departmental surveys, and mostly descriptive rather than looking at issues and topics more critically and in a transformative manner. But now again, this trend is changing, and students now, those scholars now have opened up, their identifying their issues to more contemporary social problems, sociological problems, and perhaps applying theoretical frameworks or applying different innovative sociological methods to study, those social problems and issues and so on.
Srinivas and Pandini also make this observation about researchers in the post-independence period, sociologists being survey researchers. Sociologists were data collectors. But not necessarily those who analyzed or always led to policy. P.K.B. Nair's ideas on gerontology or Jacob John Kattagayam's work on policies for the elderly. These have been seen and heard in a few circles, but they remain few and far in between. But as you said, recently numbers have increased. There are many more research centers. I think in the past 5 years we have had many more research centers, many more, exponentially more number of research scholars, research guides. So all of this is also changing the research climate.
That's a new turn, and it's a very, very, very good, development that they have. They are, and rather, moving out of the so-called traditional areas of sociology to migration, developmental issues, developmental discourses, or environmental problems, and so on.
But we need to still think whether we have moved out of the quantitative focus of earlier research.
But still ethnographic studies are coming. So there are studies related to water, environment, water protection and social movements, and also some kind of sustainable development, also relating them to sociology. That kind of ethnographic studies. Sexuality and gender is studied through very reflexive and auto-ethnographic manner.
So scholars are moving out. The visibility is
increasing.
Visibility is very well visible in Kerala.
Good. Now, when we look at the development of sociology as an autonomous discipline and its institutionalization, I think the professional body, Kerala Sociological Society, has an important role that it has played.
It's true.
In professionalizing our discipline in Kerala. You know that it was established in 1971, and it marked an important milestone in this process of institutionalizing sociological discourse in Kerala.
Over the 50 years.
Over 50 years now, 5 decades.
I think the Kerala Sociological Society is the oldest existing regional association of sociology.
And very active and vibrant, it's a kind of marking an uninterrupted existence. We have the conferences every year, very active and vibrant, and wherein, practically the students and faculty members, almost all of them, 500 to 600 people gathered in the conference venue all the time. And this has kept that community feeling, the feeling of belonging to sociological fraternity was maintained and sustained by this association.
Could we speak about the Kerala Sociologist, the journal of
journal.
Correct.
Kerala
Yes.
Sociological
Yes.
Society?
Right.
So soon after the Kerala Sociological Society was established, and after its first conference was held, they, I think Professor P.K.B. Nair and Professor Jacob John Kattakayam, Sister Mara Cecil, they were also at the helm of the KSS and the Kerala Sociologist Journal. So they had the idea on the models of the ISS and its journal, the Sociological Bulletin. They got the idea. Now we have an association, we have annual conferences, so we should also start a journal. So I think 1973, the journal of the Kerala Sociological Society, the Kerala Sociologist, was established. And this is also an achievement that this journal has seen uninterrupted publications from 1973. I think again this is another record with regard to regional academic journals in English language.
And where all the pioneer Indian sociologists wrote
Yes.
many things regarding,
Yeah, in Kerala, in this journal,
yeah.
Jacob John Katakayan was at the forefront. He was sort of the inspiration behind, the continuous and sustained manner in which this journal was being, brought out.
To encourage both, upcoming writers, scholars, there was a lot of encouragement to them.
That's
And
what
at
I
the
was
same
going to
time,
say.
the pioneering, experts from the different field and the sociologists, anthropologists wrote along with it.
Yes.
So there was a kind of balance between
both the seniors and the juniors, and a vast array of topics that have been discussed and published in this journal. This is a great contribution, I think, of Kerala Sociology to the nation and to the knowledge creation, production of this discipline.
I think unfortunately it did not get the adequate visibility that it could have got. Because it remained confined to sociology. When I look at older editions of the Kerala Sociologist, I see very interesting works that can be brought into our syllabus, because there are many articles regarding the Kerala context, many articles that were based on research done in Kerala, but these never made it into our syllabus. These never enriched our wider understanding of Kerala, or so they could not become contributions as they should have.
This also was one of the limitations of our syllabi and curriculum, that somehow we were little hesitant to bring our own works into our syllabus.
Especially the regional.
But now, having realized this, I think now those who are making syllabus and so on, are trying to bring in our own material.
Otherwise, what we see is a phenomenon called, I think, what Alata refers to as the captive mind. The non-Western mind is incapable of thinking, understanding itself.
Exactly. That kind of a colonial legacy is still, is sort of crippling us, inhibiting us.
Kind of through this we can have a decolonization process.
So again, you did your PhD on this. So why don't you say, the kind of practice, the nature of sociology being practiced in Kerala, perhaps the profile, overall profile of sociology in Kerala. What do you say?
So I think when we take up Michael Burawoy's fourfold division of sociological labor, he divides sociology as professional sociology, policy sociology, public sociology, and critical sociology. So professional sociology is the kind of sociology that includes our teaching and research practices. Institutionalized sociology. Among the 4 quadrants of sociology, as Burawoy puts it, comparatively, the profession sociology is stronger. We have very clearly defined departments. We have BA, MA, research programs. We have so many research guides. So this is where we are strong. We have a presence. We have a presence in the distance mode. We have a larger presence in the higher secondary school level.
High school level also.
The 10th standard now, they study
sociological imagination. So we started it also.
So these are ways in which our discipline as a teaching learning discipline has found a base. At the same time, we should understand that as compared to other disciplines, maybe we do not match up as compared to history or
Political science
or even
economics.
English literature. There are many other historical reasons why sociology does not match up. Still, for us as sociologists, this is where we are strong. If we come to the next point, that is policy sociology, from the first generation onwards, even in recent times, there have been research contributions that have made it to the policy level. But this has remained very marginal as part of the overall sociological discourses. Policy sociology is not very strong, we can say, in Kerala. If we think about sociology as public sociology, I think it is almost invisible. There have been sociologists, there has been so much of writing. We just mentioned the Kerala Sociologist. But this has not made it into the public discourse. We have remained invisible in public discourses. I am also wondering if this is because we do not engage as much with Malayalam language discourses, because in the public sphere of Kerala, Malayalam based discourses are very vibrant. I think Dr. Biju, Dr. Anthony, your works have come into popular magazines, have come on radio, but how far? So much more could be done. Now we have youngsters who are more social media savvy, and some of them are making a mark.
Yeah.
So we have Dinu Vail, who's a social activist. He's very vocal, putting forward very critical comments on social media, on mainstream media. This is a positive way forward for sociology. But otherwise, if you look at it over a 50-year period, our presence in public sociology has been, next to nil.
Mainstream was said conspicuously invisible.
Yes. Now, if we look at the final part, the critical sociology. Critical sociology, we mentioned in recent periods, we have been questioning, we have been decolonizing. We are trying to look back at ourselves. We are being reflexive. But I think we should think this is in a nascent stage. We are starting off. There is much more to be done.
That's a very good overview. And that poses a great challenge, particularly in the last two areas that Barave has mentioned, public sociology and critical sociology. There we need to really improve in Kerala sociology.
As Linda said, there is a consistent kind of discouragement from the part of the sociologists to engage in a regional language. So, as you said, there must be consistent effort to overcome this. So in order to gain the public, to perform the role of a public intellectual, so where we don't transact in Malayalam, it's not possible.
Yeah, but now we have a
Malayalam University.
Malayalam University
We have a Malayalam
has
University
specifically established in order to bring in regionalizing the social science discipline and bringing works in Malayalam.
Their journal Samiksha, their journal is a bilingual journal.
They have also recently brought out an encyclopedia of social thinkers in Malayalam. These are all good works.
The provision to write a PhD thesis in Malayalam, that I think
yes, they have that.
Universities also.
Our university also gives an opportunity. Students are free to write off their.
Good developments in this regard. Now let's wind up highlighting the major challenges, major issues and the prospects of sociology in Kerala.
I would say there are three challenges immediately which we should overcome. One is that unlike being very superfluous, sociological researchers, sociological classrooms, so all these must be very historically, contextually and relocated. So that is very, very important, which we really lack. Second point is merely doing technical classroom exercises or engagements should move to the level of a transaction of knowledge. So which is seriously lacking in our classrooms, where the syllabus goes in one way. Of course, it has its own problems, and classroom engagements go in some other way, having serious disconnect between the syllabus, classroom, the expected to be the classroom interactions, and the actual happenings has certain problems. And third, I believe that scholars, those who are doing empirical work, should be given confidence to be a or train them, help them to train themselves to be a public intellectual. So rather than the intellectual kind of exercise, the research like publication also should make the scholars and along with the faculty members to be the part of the public intellectual category. So these are the three issues I believe.
I think you have pinned down, the major challenges that our discipline faces in Kerala today.
Yeah.
So, and particularly in the face of this neoliberal pressures, I would say it's a global phenomenon that dismiss humanities as unproductive. So it is in that context, contextualizing sociology, making sociology as a regional sociology and historicizing sociology are very important. And
also the
public sociology. Yeah, he said it rightly. So sociology must address students' needs, career needs, of course, at the same time making marginalized voices more visible. I think it is one of the challenges, one of the missions that sociologists will have to, as part of our, making our discipline more visible into the public medium.
I mean, the liberating nature of production of knowledge.
Correct. Yeah. Rather than the orthodox or oppressive kind of knowledge, that has been transmitted for quite some time, we would say. So the prospect lies in building an indigenous sociology. In this context, I think, we need to also take up that challenge of building an indigenous sociology rooted in local traditions, responsive to local conditions, and committed to justice. In the final analysis, we find that sociology in Kerala has a strong foundation. But the challenge is to make it more critical, visible, and engaged.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear friends. We had a fruitful discussion.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.